And welcome, guys. Welcome to the Hair War, the place where you, my friends, get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Calderon. Gary, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Today, guys, we have an amazing subject. So before you spend any more money in hair loss treatments, you have to watch this episode. You have to watch this episode. This is the episode that you've been waiting for. And you, of course, you want to keep close attention to everything that we're going to be sharing here today. So I hope you guys are ready. And I want to thank everyone who's tuning in from all our different platforms. And thank you guys. So, Carrie, how are things on your neck of the wood? How are things in Canada?
Good. Yeah, we're coming into winter, so you can hear my voice is a little raspy because the weather change always does that to me. But yeah, things are good. We're getting ready for Christmas here, so it's a little hectic. And I know you guys have Thanksgiving coming up. Our Thanksgiving was already in October, so I understand your guys' busy chaos too before the
Oh,
big rush. What about
always,
you?
always, always, and forever. You know, when it comes, to holidays, when it comes to to that moment of the year, uh, it's just crazy everywhere. So I hope you guys are having an amazing time with your family, preparing for having an amazing time with your families during this week. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, and this is the beginning of Christmas. This is the christening to what Christmas is going to be all about. The rest of the season. So I hope you guys are starting with the right foot this time this year, and of course enjoy each other's company, have an amazing time, laugh, forget about politics, forget about the things that separate your families, and bringing everyone together. It's all about the joy, it's all about the family, it's all about good times. So if you're not doing that with your family, then I don't know what you're doing. We should be doing something good with your family, guys. Enjoy your time. Friends, family is the best. I mean, I love Christmas, and I know a lot of people have things against it, because of trauma and everything like that. But you know what? Give yourself, a break this year. Do something about it. Have some fun. All right. So, Carrie, what are we talking about today?
Today, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm watching because I'm posting everything to everybody right now. Um,
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
yeah, that's probably what you're hearing on your phone going crazy because I'm trying to share it everywhere. Right now, Big One talk. Sergio and actually we were talking for about an hour before we went live, and I'm like, we should be recording this. This is really good information in here. But pretty much, we're talking about like before you spend a dime on hair or loss treatments, watch this. Like people are talking about minoxidil and PRP and spending money, and you know what? As a trichologist and a cosmetologist, and for what all of us do here at the Hair Wire, we need to give you guys the correct information because it's just I can't watch it anymore. I just can't.
Oh, yeah.
Sergio.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you see that there's a lot of great hype around many things happening in the world of hair loss, and yes, there's a lot of great things that are working. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that they just don't. And the reason why they don't is not because they're not good. It's just that they're not good for you. And that's the main thing that we want to make sure today that you understand that whatever you want to do in terms of hair loss, if you're having a situation, make sure you understand what it is that you're going through before you spend any more money. Because unfortunately, for instance, Carrie, you were mentioning about people going crazy about minoxidil. I mean,
Yes.
everybody wants to do minoxidil for every type of hair loss. And is a minoxidil good for every type of hair loss? No. In which cases, Carrie, would you recommend to use minoxidil for?
Huh. Okay. Well, depending on there's two different types of
I know
minoxidil.
you're pretty much against minoxidil. So,
Yeah, no,
which,
I believe there's a place. There's absolutely a
exactly.
place, but more of so there's two types where you intake it or you put it as a topical. And there's a place where you're using it as like a maintenance, or if you were using it to control a certain situation. However, if you don't know the type of hair loss that you're struggling with and you don't need it, in fact, you could cause more issues, or you're spending money that you don't need to. So why spend more money and cause more stress for you to be on a subscription to use it? And people are also not using it correctly. I find people give it out, particularly where I am, like candy. Oh, you're losing hair, let's give you minoxidil. When, if you've watched our shows in the past or follow any of my blogs, I'm always talking about going in first and finding out why and where it's stemming from, because sometimes it's something as simple as changing your sleep, your diet, or your stress levels. But there are places for minoxidil. Yes, absolutely. Those are more when I do more intervention, when I find that we need a little bit more support, and that's when I'll bring it in. Or if we have already gone down all of the routes and there is a fit for it, then yes. Most of my clients that I have on minoxidil, or I'm supporting them on minoxidil, they're already in their late stages of hair loss. They're in their late 30s, early 40s and on. So for me, I try and do more of a natural first, and understanding the minoxidil. And a lot of people don't understand the consequences of it as well. So maybe Sergio, your eyebrows flinched there. So you're the guru on this one, because I know, like, we've talked about this many times. So
Yeah, no, but the thing is, whenever you want to, consider use minoxidil, what's the criteria? Well, for me, it has to be androgenetic alopecia, period.
yeah.
Now, are other forms of hair loss that you could use minoxidil and can be beneficial? Yes, but it has to be in a very particular set of situations. It's not for everyone. For instance, many people who are suffering with chronic telogen effluvium, they resemble many times a pattern of a female pattern type of hair loss or male pattern type of alopecia. And in those type of situations where you actually develop miniaturization of the follicles, maybe you could actually use minoxidil to stop the miniaturization process. And think of minoxidil as a solution that it's not gonna maybe increase the amount of hair that you have, but actually to help you keep what you have. And for some people, they have seen great results with it. I mean, some people see that the hair becomes thicker, that they see more of it, and that's amazing. But it does not happen for everyone. And
Yeah.
this is why we're cautious about recommending minoxidil, because it does not necessarily brings you great amounts of hair for everyone. And that's the whole idea. You need to understand, not everyone will have a great effect, with minoxidil. And for those who are more prone to actually experience that, who are those cases? Well, particularly the ones who experience androgenetic alopecia on the very early stages. Those are the ones who actually do benefit the most from minoxidil. But if you're on very late stage, it's not going to help us much. Okay, so don't put your hopes up. No, does it mean that I need to stop using it? No, it means that if you're using it and it has helped you to keep a certain amount of hair, then keep using it, just as a precaution, just as a treatment to help you maintain a certain amount of hair. And if that is working for you, then keep using it. But don't think of it as a solution that's going to get all of your hair back. I mean, every time I see new ads running around about new products, and everybody's saying, this is going to get your hair back. I mean, can you actually say that without going into jail?
Hey, we got to talk about too, because I find a lot of times when I see those ads, they always say, well, it worked. What I was using for months and months didn't work. Sergio and I did a talk a few shows back. I'll try and see if I could post it in the comments, but we talked about oftentimes when you do a switch of treatment, did the hair loss start or hair growth start when you started this so and so new product before you gave the other one that you gave up so quickly a shot? I find a lot of times with people, they're like, oh, but it's making my hair grow and this one was not a good product, but you're not giving it efficient enough time. And so a lot of times that's why you see, they say, some of them say the product worked right away. It's because of that exact situation. Sergio and I had a whole discussion about it a few back. You want to pretty much go over the synopsis of it with it, Sergio, because I think it's critical that people understand that. Yeah, I'll let you go into that one because and the average hair for a new hair to grow, like a new hair just to even start creating is what, 100 days before it starts to, you see the growth through the skin, and then it's a quarter of an inch for every month that it grows on average. So if you haven't given that product, the first one you're using, a minimum of 100 days plus a month, I would say at least longer than that, if you could, 6 months before you see results, before you give up on it. But a lot of times, a lot of people start a new product and it didn't work, and they'll start this magic shampoo and they say the magic shampoo worked, and then all of a sudden they have this hair growth. Well, was it from what you were doing previous or from what you're doing now? And then also too, a lot of the times when you do start a new product, you're going to have the tragic quick hair loss, which Sergio will go into the science of that part.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you are doing a treatment, for instance, you started, let's say, minoxidil, but minoxidil is not the only one, right? And you're forcing the follicle to go into anagen growth, right? What many times happens is that because the cycle has been already upset, and you try to basically put it back into motion, into the right cycling rhythm, what will happen is that the hairs that you already have that are maybe growing new, but they're growing in the wrong thickness, they're growing out of cycle, they will fall out, and kind of like a reset, if you may. Is the simplest way that we can show you. You hit the reset button, so whatever you gain, you probably will lose temporarily, and it will grow back again, but thicker, stronger, and longer. That's the basically what we see. Now, this is very true for many hair loss treatments. And we see this very often. And the whole idea, guys, is if you're seeing shedding after you started doing a treatment, don't lose your head on it. Just be patient, because at the beginning stages, yes, it's very common for you to lose some hair and to lose maybe more than you would want to. But it's right. It's okay. And all you have to do, is sit, wait, and once you start seeing that the new growth starts coming back, enjoy it, and keep at it, and do what you need to keep those new hairs. So work on your diet, work on your lifestyle, and keep at it. But if you're using a treatment and you're not seeing results in about 6 months, then you should stop. That's the moment where I say, enough is enough. Let's move on to the next thing, because we're not getting, where we need to. And the reason why many of our treatments fails is very simple. And the answer to that is it was not intended for the condition that you're experiencing. Simple. And some people may have multiple types of hair loss simultaneously. For instance, I have I'm treating this girl. She's from the UK, and she has a very strong, very bad chronic telogen effluvium, and she's developing at the same time androgenetic alopecia. And for some reasons, she has a hard time trying to understand that she needs to treat both situations simultaneously. So she want to treat either one or the other. And unfortunately, if you have a type of hair loss running on the left and another type running on the right, and you're only treating just one, then the other one just keeps spreading freely onto your scalp. So you want to treat them both at the same time, so you're able to put a stop to it and grow the hair. So this is some of the things that can happen, guys, and you need to be aware of it. That you may not be experiencing only one type of hair loss. You may be experiencing multi types of hair loss, and you might want to get a grab. You might want to grab onto it as quickly as possible and do whatever you can to to stop it. So in that sense, many people go crazy on the newest treatments. Now we have heard a lot about, for instance, PRP. Have you heard about PRP, Carrie?
Yes, I've heard about it many, many times.
So,
Yeah.
what's the opinion on the streets? What are you hearing? What are you seeing about PRP nowadays?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people push PRP mainly because they don't understand the treatment options that are available, and marketing has really pushed it to be the cutting edge to use, and the only thing to use, and the thing that worked, particularly here in Canada and the United States. And PRP, there is a place. Don't get me wrong. The thing is usually when you're losing hair, you're having hair issues where you're having broken, brittle hair, dull hair, hair loss, hair thinning. Usually it's because something internal is happening. The first thing to go when your body's under stress is you lose your hair. And so the thing is with PRP, they're extracting the nutrients from the hair. So if you're extracting the nutrients and you're depleted in nutrients, where are those nutrients coming from? So for me as a trichologist, I'm skeptical of it actually working, especially if it's a type of hair loss that you're dealing with a nutritional deficiency or gut health issue or mental health issue, because the nutrient distribution isn't there. However, if you're doing it for maintenance and you've already got your nutrition under control, everything's healthy, you've got the hair loss under control, then yeah, I could see PRP as a treatment. But right, for the prices and the cost that PRP is and the promise, I feel that it's taking advantage of people, and you're spending money you don't need to. I think it's a ripoff, especially when there's so many other viable, more cost-effective options with real results, like 100% results, not just guesswork, not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks.
I like that. I mean, that's basically it when it comes to PRP. There's a lot of guesswork on it, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the process itself. Now, have you ever heard about what goes on into a PRP clinic and what they do?
I have. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, please. Tell us a bit on it, because people need to understand, what's really happening once they draw blood. What's going to happen to that?
I've heard different scenarios. I've heard of clinics that are doing it correctly, where they are actually going and pulling the blood and making sure that it is nutrient rich and it is a viable option for them. So those clinics I have to commend because they're doing it correctly. But there's a lot of them that are doing it as a trend and just doing it to sell the service with actually not understanding why the service and understanding the science behind it, where they'll come in, they'll book the treatment, extract it, do one spin and pull out what's in there without even counting and seeing the nutrient value, and then using that as the deposit. And the thing is with the deposit, we were talking is you need to have at least, what was it we were talking about, Sergio, earlier, 100 injections.
What 1.5 million platelets, and it should be done in about 120 injections. So,
and a lot of people are only doing 50 injections and not even considering how many, we're not even considering if it is a viable solution. So you're literally throwing money in the garbage. Yeah, unless it's a clinic that knows what they're doing, who are doing it correctly. And there's a lot that say, yes, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. I would like to challenge that for some of them.
The problem with PRP, is the uncertainty is too high. It's too high. And let me tell you why. Because unfortunately, everybody is doing it differently. Okay. And that's the main issue right here. There are great clinics who are doing an amazing job with PRP, and they're seeing amazing results with it.
Amazing results.
Yes. But unfortunately, that's not the story for every clinic that is doing PRP. And here's the reason why. as Kerry was mentioning, first of all, they're not taking into account the nutritional value on the blood. Okay, so is that blood really rich in nutrients? Is it? Isn't it? How do we know that? Has the person, has the patient been prepared in advance, has been taking supplements, nutrients, doing vitamins and nutrients, and dieting, and doing the things that they need to basically enrich their blood? Are they doing that? Aren't they doing that? And if they aren't doing that, then what can you do to uh, increase the value of nutrients into that serum that you're preparing? Because you have to consider, we're spinning the blood, right? And we want to separate the red blood cells from the platelets. And you take the platelets, right? And not just everything on the platelets, but a certain portions of it, right? And when you're doing that, you are selecting from the blood, and the idea is that you're able to gather, as I mentioned before, 1.5 million platelets on that portion. The problem is that most of the clinics, they don't count it. How will you know if you're not counting it? Secondly, are you adding something extra to that PRP to make it richer in terms of nutrients? I know some clinics that they are doing, they use stem cells, and they're putting it into that PRP pellet that they're preparing, and they will inject it. That's amazing. I hear that there's a lot of clinics that will not numb the area, will not use an anesthetic into the area, right? And because they're not doing that, the patient's discomfort level is so high that it even creates even more inflammation, and sometimes they even reject the process. Now, not only that, but if you use a numbing solution, and if you're using anesthesia, it's going to be easier. You're going to be working faster. And of course, you're going to be able to spread that PRP throughout the scalp, throughout the area. So you can do 120 injections if you need to. But most of the clinics, because they're not doing that, they can only do 40, 50 injections, because that's what the client is able to tolerate, because it becomes so painful, right? So you need to consider all of these factors. And unfortunately, the angle of the injection is very important. You cannot do 90 degrees. You need to do 30 degrees with it. And unfortunately, if you're using a mesotherapy gun to do PRP, you're going only 90. So there's an angle to it. It's not straight up. So, and a lot of people say, well, what's the benefit of a PRP treatment? Well, what we are seeking from the PRP is what our stem cells are able to produce. We are looking at growth factors, cytokines. We are looking at exosomes. We are looking at peptides. We are looking at secretomes, everything that is in our blood, all of those nutrients that are running around in our blood, and we want to put them in a particular place on the scalp so that it will stimulate hair growth. All right, so we understand that these nutrients can actually help, but if I do not understand, or I do not have a full count on those nutrients, how do I know that it's going to be working? And this is where the new technology comes into play. Now we have exosome treatments, we have secretome treatments, we have peptide treatments, and we have all of this new technology that are evolving and are creating new treatments that are basically creating more hair, even stronger results than what you would see with PRP. And the reason for it is because you have a standardized solution. You have a solution that you can quantify the amount of nutrients that are in it. And because you are delivering a standardized solution, you can work with that. I don't know if people can understand the difference of having having certainty in the amount of nutrients that you are injecting or that you're applying. And when I say applying, is because nowadays we don't need to use just a needle. The injectable is not the only way to make sure that this type of nutrients go into our skin. We can use microneedling, we can use plasma, we can use TED. There are different types of technologies out there that can be used to make sure that this type of nutrients gets absorbed into the skin. And this changes the game and a lot. Kerry, have you seen work with this type of technology, TED, plasma, this type of things?
Yes, well, not the plasma. I'm just learning about this, so this is far something I really want to get on board with, and I'm already messaging people to get more information. But we do use, in fact, the TED Almac in our clinic. I've seen phenomenal results. It's probably one of my favorite devices that I do use. I've also seen great results with other tools. For example, just doing correcting the gut health. I've seen great results with, finding. Yeah, TED is not always the answer always. It's usually my last one that I go to in my clinic, but it is a
Yeah,
great source. But I do try and get to first finding out the nutrients and finding the hiccup and why you're losing that hair. So I do find the best results is getting a formal assessment and formally knowing exactly where that hair loss is stemming from. And oftentimes, like Sergio said earlier, you have more than one type of hair loss happening at the same time. And so if I'm having solutions for all of it and understanding where it's stemming from, could be mental health, gut health, physical health. I specialize in epigenetics. So I have seen more long-term results doing epigenetics with hair loss than I have anything. But when I do a tool or I bring in an interventive tool, or if I want to expedite things and make things a lot faster and more, then I will bring in TED, because TED is going to expedite things. And I've seen phenomenal results with it. But again, if you just do TED and you're not correcting the gut, you're also not doing yourself a service either. So it
exactly.
always starts with the gut. It always starts with epigenetics, period. So yeah.
No,
Yeah, you
there
could
are
go
many
on.
things. There's so many highways, that we can go through. And the most important thing, guys, is understand that what's valuable to me in terms of what can work for me, not necessarily is going to be the same thing that's going to work for you. This is where we draw the line. You need a consultation. You need to visit a trichologist. You need to see someone who can actually help you get to the bottom of what's really causing your hair loss and treating it. Because I mean, you can go for this new type of technologies. I mean, they're doing amazing things, and now we're doing. There's a lot of research on hair cloning, follicle cloning, and I see amazing stuff. I see the future, and the future, basically, guys, is to have unlimited sources and unlimited supply of follicles. So if you need to do a hair transplant, you don't need to remove the ones that you have on the back of the head. So you just implant new ones because you have a bank of stem cells growing those follicles for you. And that's the future. That's the future right now. But only a few things are available at this moment, and are available to the ones who can actually pay for those type of services, because they are very expensive, the new stuff that's coming out. But what's available for me? What's available today? Well, today, what
I'm going
is
to say
available?
expensive though,
Yeah,
Sergio. I still see, I rather spend large amounts of money on something that has real results today than something that I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall. I find there's a lot of people spending lots of money on PRP and guessing it might work, or doing hair transplants and not correcting the issue before they get the transplant and throwing that money away. This research that you've pulled out that we have found that everybody's doing, there's real results.
yeah.
I would bet more money on that because I know I am going to get those results. I know for a fact I'm going to get those results. So that I have no problem spending my money. And this is the whole topic, is before you spend a dime on your hair loss, know what you're getting into. Don't just
That's
throw
that's, that's
spaghetti at the wall. Yeah.
I like that. I like that expression. Stop throwing spaghetti to the wall and hoping it sticks, because it won't. And that's the thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guesswork around, and that's bad. Because there's good technology out there, and they get a bad rep because of people who are abusing it. For instance, I see this thing. I love TED. I have my TED machine right here. I love it. but I see many clinics who are abusing the use of TED, and they are, throwing it to everyone when, it will work for some type of cases, but not for every case. So you need to make sure that you understand the technology before you consider it. So if you're a patient and you hear us talking about this many big words and many things that are happening, and you are unsure, unsettled about this, hey, start with the simplest of things. Dieting still works. Let's start with the basics right now. Dieting still works. And what does dieting works for? Well, it works to, first of all, help you rebalance your body. By rebalancing your body and making sure that your follicles have enough nutrients, that simply can change the way the hair looks and stop even hair shedding. Because let's consider it. If you're experiencing hair shedding because you have low vitamin D, and we get a lot of that now that we're entering into winter, we get a lot of vitamin D deficiencies. And we know for certain that a lot of people will experience a lot of hair loss because of the lack of lighting, because of the lack of sunlight. All right. And we talked about this last year. Remember, Carrie, we were talking about, how the environment changes makes changes, of course, on our hair, particularly for those of you who live in the north. And now winter kicks in, and you are more time inside the house, and you see a lot of white snow and everything. My recommendation is come to Puerto Rico so you can see beach weather all year long. But we don't get that. We don't get that. So
and I want to reiterate too, because in where I am, I'm in northern Alberta. I specialize, and I'm known for long hair. That's what I specialize in, is coaching people how to grow their hair long. And I always say in Alberta, I have a lot of people like, when I moved to Alberta, my hair stopped growing. Well, I have 2 hair cutting seasons for myself. I find when I'm cutting my hair in the winter, it's more because I'm getting the dry ends, the dull ends, because the climate where we are, it's very, very dry and very, very cold. And so my ends get very broken, very brittle. And I'm not getting as much exercise because I'm not as out as I typically would be in the summer. I'm not getting as much exposure to vitamin D. So of course that's going to hinder my hair growth. But in the summer, I'm cutting it often because my hair is growing so fast, so much, because I'm outside getting exercise and getting active. I'm in the sun, and my hair just keeps growing because I am an outdoor active girl. And so of course I'm cutting it more for the length because it's getting too long for me. And I do find, like, when I lived in areas like Vancouver and Toronto, it's very humid there. I was cutting my hair more often because of the climate. And a lot of people don't realize that climate plays a factor. Your environment plays a factor. Season changes play a factor. And you do have seasonal hair loss and hair shedding. I also too want to reiterate with people that there are more than one type of alopecia. A lot of times you'll go and they'll be like, oh, you have alopecia. Well, there's many different types of alopecia, and what are you struggling with? And are you struggling with, say, telogen effluvium is the one that we commonly see, and they say that the average person will have 5 episodes of telogen effluvium in a lifetime. Everybody. We have androgenetic alopecias, which are your genetic hair losses, but just because you have the genetic gene epigenetically does not mean that you're going to get it. You could be preventative of it. And there's also, now we're finding new studies in Europe that there's types of hair losses that are mimicking androgenetic alopecia and getting mixed up and being treated like androgenetic alopecia, when in fact it's caused by a type of stress from inflammation or tension. Then we have your alopecia areata, and that's commonly caused by an autoimmune response or a stress trigger. And those are where you have the patchy hair losses, the little bald patches in the chin, the hair all over. Then the 4th one we see commonly is nutritional deficiencies, where you're having poor hair fiber, hair shedding, hair breakage. And that's usually because people are doing all these cereal dieting, and they don't realize that even just losing, in fact, like up to 15, 20 pounds, you could cause hair loss or hair breakage. Or you change your diet, you're changing your system, you're going to cause a blip in the system. You have to remember your hair every quarter of an inch is a month behind us. I always tell people I read hair like people read tarot cards. I could tell a lot about your hair. I could tell if you changed your diet. I could tell if you changed patterns or tried a new medication, because you could see it and feel it in the hair under a microscope, or even with simply your finger if you know what you're looking for. I see that quite common. Hormonal deficiencies. What am I missing here, Sergio? I know there's a few others. Scarring alopecias, tension alopecias from pulling your hair back all the time. Like, there's so many. So what are you struggling with? And for you, are you understanding what your body needs too? I see so many clients all the time, and it astounds me that how many people do not have a relationship with themselves to understand what their body is craving or needing. And they don't listen to their body and understand when they are needing something. Their body will have a craving. And is that craving a need craving or a want craving? And it's often because your body is lacking something. So, like, if I'm craving tomatoes, go look up what the tomato means and know the difference between a craving and a non-craving, because there are ones where your body is more an addictive state. So are you addicted to that, whatever you're craving, or is your body actually needing what you're needing? And usually you'll know the difference, because if it's an addiction craving, it's more something because you have it all the time that it's become a habit and something that your body needs because you're so used to having it all the time. And a craving is more of like a need one is more like something that's out of the ordinary, like all of a sudden garlic. Like, I will want garlic just because I want it. My husband won't even sit beside me. I smell so bad. But if I have garlic because I need it, I could eat tons of garlic. You wouldn't even know I ate it. So really understand your body. And I talk to a lot of clients who actually have been through illness to say that now they know how to listen to what their body needs. And it blows my mind the amount of people who are waiting for somebody else to tell them what they need and looking for that quick fix, when the quick fix is within yourself, to listen to what your body's needing and why you're reacting a certain way.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Now, if you guys go to thehairwire.com, we do have our landing page, our website for the general public, and we have pages specifically created for each type of hair loss we commonly see, with the correct information options out there. And we are building where we are gaining other trichologists, designated certified trichologists, to come and help us collaborate on there. So if you are a trichologist and want to collaborate, please reach out to Sergio, I, or Basan, so we could get you involved on there. But we are right now have a landing page with each type of hair loss, scalp issue, so you guys get the correct who, what, when, where, why for that type of hair loss, and have answers answered there. And that way you can reach out to us, ask those questions. And if you do have a question, put in a comment on our page or on the website, and we will personally answer them or get one of our peers to answer them for you.
That's the beauty of our community. This is why we built the Hair Wire. And of course, we have an amazing community of trichologists in the faculty of trichology. So if you want to study trichology, if you want to learn more about trichology, if you're a seasoned or someone who just started, you need to get in contact with the faculty of trichology, my friends. The Hair Wire was built for our general public, but the faculty of trichology, for you, my friends, professionals, go right now, thefacultyoftrichology.com. Visit our website. You have it right there on your screen, thehairwire.com and facultyoftrichology.com. Right now, hey, we have the Observer tier. This is a place where you can enjoy free education, my friends. Free education right now, okay? And hey, we have our full course of trichology. So if you want to become a student, this is the moment. Also, we have our next tiers
program.
Yes,
this will be a 2-year applicable or equivalent to a 2-year post-secondary certification. We have that online. Yeah,
you need to be there. You need to be there. You need to be part of the Hair Wire, and you need to be part of the faculty of trichology. And what can we do? What can we say? Go visit right now. Go to the facultyoftrichology.com. Go to thehairwire.com. See what we have in store for you. If you have any questions, please let us know, because we want to help you out guys. This is what we do. And time is running out, guys. Time is running out. Carrie, any last words that we want to say today to our audience?
No, but I do want to say happy Thanksgiving to our American friends. I know it's not Thanksgiving where I am, but I have a lot of American family and friends out there. So I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family and go enjoy those Black Friday deals. I'm already looking forward to Black Friday myself here because now we finally adopted the Black Friday vibe here. So yeah, until next time, we'll see you.
Till next time, guys. God bless you all. Till then, bye-bye, my friends.